Hello, and welcome into episode 14 of Horned Up, TCU on SI football podcast, talking all things TCU football. It's game week. I'm your host, JD Andrews. My wonderful co-host, Nick Geramonte. As you can see on the screen, if you're watching this or you'll hear shortly, we got wonderful guests on this show and two co-hosts for it. It's one long episode. We're going to be talking the TCU Colorado matchup. Both teams looking for their first conference win of the season. Nick, I'm going to shoot it over to you. How you doing? How you feeling? It's game week. You pumped?
Yeah, I'm fired up. It's getting to that part of the week where you flip over from the tough ASU loss and getting into it. And shout out, I want to introduce our guest, BuffedinPrime, massive Colorado podcast. They actually reached out and wanted to collab, and it's no one better covering the Buffs. I watched some of their stuff, some of their film breakdowns. It's really cool stuff what's going on over
Yeah.
there. So excited to have a special guest joining us. So if y'all want to introduce yourselves, and then we can get into the game.
Yo, what's going on? I'm CT the fan with Buffed and Prime, co-host. I got my guy T Cow, that's my brother. Ah, nose ball.
Yeah, so just for a background, I played, was a high school American and then played at University of Nevada, transferred, went to Alabama A&M, was a HBCU preseason All-American All-Conference, then got into camp with the Atlanta Falcons as a defensive back. And now that's what we do on our channel. We break down the film, the All 22 film, show you what's supposed to happen, what's good that's happening, and so forth. And then each week on ours, we basically scout the opposing team for Colorado. So this week we're scouting TCU, and we're not one of those groupie channels. We're gonna tell it like it is, and there's
Yeah.
a lot to like on that TCU team, a lot.
X, America's #1 sports prediction market, is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You will almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, and player prop since you're playing against other people rather than the sports book. It looks and feels just like a sports book, just has way better odds. As a Buff fan, you can take CU to beat TCU and upset on the money line, or you can take a player prop. You could take Sincere Brown over such an amount receiving yards. Profit X gives you the best lines in the space. You can set your own odds too. You make your picks, and Profit X takes a small fee from the winner only. Use promo code BuffandPrime and claim up to $200 in profit cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. Terms and conditions apply.
It's no fun being a groupie channel, right?
It's not.
Sometimes it's way more fun to talk about the negative, but let's jump into it. You've done the film breakdown. You've seen TCU. We've watched Colorado. Everyone keeps up with Colorado with the whole Dion saga going on, and it's in its third year. But what have you guys seen from TCU that maybe has stuck out to you?
So I haven't got too in depth in the breakdown yet. It is, what is it, Wednesday? Usually by Friday, that's when I have full scouting report on each. But I watched a lot of guys in the offseason. And we have a website called bipslist.com where we do our own college football player rankings, own transfer portal rankings. So guys like Jordan Dwyer, I had seen him when he was at Idaho.
Yeah.
And I have him ranked as the third best receiver in the Big 12 before the season started.
Wow.
I I know what to look at on film. He's one of the best route runners in college football. Hell of a receiver. Um, even though the other receiver went crazy against SMU, 250 yards.
Eric McCaskey,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, which that's insane. I still think Jordan Dwyer is the best out of the two, but that's the problem with TCU. Colorado defensively right now struggling to stop pass and run, and TCU, Josh Hoover can sling it. You got receivers that can get open, receivers that are really good in space, and then at when they want to, they can run the ball. So that's the defense of Colorado is definitely a huge weakness, and it's obviously a huge strength for TCU. So you don't feel the most warm and fuzzy when you have that going into a matchup, their strength versus your weakness.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, you guys coming off that ASU game, and I was just watching the film and was cutting it up. I look at your offense. I mean, I think Hoover might be the best quarterback have seen so far this year. And he's got weapons. And we just did a Dwyer breakdown in Patreon, and I was just like, man, this this wide receiver, and he's from Puyallup, Washington. So we had to laugh about that because we both got Washington ties. I was
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
yeah, from the 253. And you guys' offense presents a lot of problems. Like you can't even be really excited about the game because you guys' offense presents a lot of problems.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because they definitely we definitely do have a strong offense. But coming into this game last week against Arizona State kind of brought up, especially in that second half, of ton of weaknesses that I think
Mhm.
TCU fans are a lot less confident in what the offense provides. Like Eric McAllister, barring a massive surprise, is probably going to be out in the Colorado game, so that'll leave more of a burden on Jordan Dwyer's shoulders, and Joseph Manjack and some of these other receivers we have who are less experienced than EMAC.
Mhm.
And then the offensive line was really struggling last week and kind of still rotating guys. So yeah, at least from a TCU perspective, it's one of those things where yeah, they're very confident and they hope that they'll be able to bounce back against a Colorado team that, as you guys mentioned, has struggled, like giving up 30 plus points in three of their last four games. So yeah, we'll see. It's a lot of voids that I think will be interesting.
Yeah, and right now the strength for Colorado really is the RPO game on offense. When Caden Salter's the starting quarterback, and with what's been going on, we just never know if he's going to start week to week. But when he is in there and starting, that pretty much is the strength of the team because you have to worry about him. There was a hold last week that took away, I think, a 55-yard run by him, and another one where a receiver missed a block where he probably would have had a 60-yard touchdown. So he could have easily ran for close to 200 yards, and that's something Colorado's not used to having. Then on the flip side, Josh Hoover, I actually had him ranked the number 2 quarterback in the Big 12 going into this
Who'd you have
season.
him behind?
I have him behind Salter, and the way the rankings work, it's not just production because obviously guys have production, but it's skill set as well. So I
As
look
long as
at
you didn't say love it, I was good. That's all I needed to know.
no. So it's based on how they project. And people that don't know about Caden Salter, he had 44 touchdowns in 2023, third most in college football. Was top 10 in QBR that year. Then year before or last year at Liberty, lost all of his weapons to the transfer portal, entire offensive line. So it looked a lot different. But Josh Hoover, some notes that I had from him, this is before the season, has a smooth release, good pocket presence, accurate with deep balls and able to layer throws, can throw on the run, off platform, even off the wrong foot, moves well, steps up in the pocket. TCU runs a lot of RPO, can throw off of his back foot at times when he shouldn't, relies on his arm alone too much, and that causes some passes to fall short and some to sell on him. So I think a key for Colorado will be getting pressure on him to where he doesn't want to step up. Because when he's stepping up and in rhythm, he can really sling it. But if you're getting
Yeah.
pressure on him, he has to play off his back foot. That's when you start to see issues. So I think now I say that's what Colorado should do, but we just watched Colorado play a true freshman quarterback who was playing on the road, and I don't think they blitzed him really once the entire game. So um, that that was a shock. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't blitz Hoover either.
Yeah, I honestly think that's a pretty damn good scouting report and pretty accurate because, like you said, when Hoover has time, he can sling it with the best of them. Like
Mhm.
he's been talked about with some of the best quarterbacks in the nation. And then right when you get him high on his horse, and he was in some Heisman conversations heading into
Mhm.
last week, like the thing that Arizona State did against a struggling TCU offensive line was put pressure on him, and then that forced him to make decisions that he didn't want to make. Now,
Mhm.
that granted, that was with Eric McAllister being out. In the game after you tried to make a play, which they didn't think was going to happen, and their
Mhm.
RB1 was out and their best run pass blocker. But yeah, when he is pressure, that's definitely where he's turnover prone, and
Mhm.
it will be interesting. That's what I was kind of interested as y'all's perspective as what Colorado's defense will do. As you said, like you were thinking not a lot of blitz because of what happened with BYU last week and kind of a collapse. So
Mhm.
just let me know what y'all want to see from the Colorado defense.
CT, you can go first on that.
I don't know if Josh Hoover does he tuck the ball and run. I don't know if he
Not
does that.
often.
Right,
Not
right.
often.
Well, we thought that in Houston. These quarterbacks seem to start running when they play us. Colorado plays a lot of man defense. So I'm hoping that we can get pressure. I like the edges. We got some real good true freshman edges, McPherson and London Merritt, and then you got Keaton Wade and Arden Walk. So it's like I'm hoping we could get pressure, but I hope we don't just rely on just those players. I hope we show up with a design like blitzes and stuff like that. But you only can hope. Like you can only hope. I mean, I think we have to get pressure. I think we have to take the pressure off our defensive backfield. And, I think you got to send the linebackers on blitz. We can't let Hoover get comfortable because any quarterback with any amount of time will just pick any defense apart. And I worry about that.
Yeah. And for me, Colorado doesn't have an outside cornerback that can cover Jordan Dwyer one-on-one. It's just not going to happen. They like to be man-based, but last week against BYU, I mean, it happens all the time. Even the times the ball didn't get thrown, they were getting beat. Like, it was bad. And Jordan Dwyer being the route runner that he is, what I love about Jordan Dwyer, his routes are all the same speed. So coming from a guy who played corner, played man coverage forever, that's the hardest thing to defend against because he doesn't give a key on what type of route he's running, whether it's a short route, it'll look like a go route, and then he'll snap it off for an out route. And those are the things that Colorado really struggles with guarding. And Jordan Dwyer is great against press. You saw it against North Carolina. Like, you've seen it every week. Like, he gets off press really well. So Colorado mainly plays cover 1, cover 3, and then they'll mix in some cover 2. There's not going to be any cover 4. Worst cover 2 team probably in college football. Like, just bad. The safeties don't understand their alignments. Mainly one of them, they don't get reroutes on the receivers. So you have guys running up the seam free. So really, what I need to see from Colorado, I need to see pressures, but I need pressures from either depth, so a safety that's lined up deep, or I need guys mugged up at the line of scrimmage. It can't just be a straight up pressure. It has to confuse Hoover. We need stunts and pressures to where he has to think. Worst thing you can do for a quarterback, even if you're not bringing pressure, if you mug up 7 guys at the line of scrimmage and then blitz guys who normally aren't blitzing and drop other guys, that's the same as pressure because it's making the quarterback think, it's making them hold on to the ball longer. And that's what you want to do. Unfortunately, we don't really see that. Like, you'll come out there, Josh Hoover's going to come out of huddle. He's going to, they're man coverage. Like, it's clear as day. So there needs to be, they need to get better disguising and need to get better. Back to what CT said, they really struggle against read options. As far as who's the quarterback player and who's the running back player, who's responsible for who. And that's why every quarter, how many games? Haynes King ran like wild. Delaware's quarterback was trying to run like wild. Connor Wegman from Houston was running wild. BYU quarterback ran wild. So there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up there. Really, if they're already averaging about 400 yards given up on defense a game. If I'm going to give up 400 yards anyways, I'm at least going out with a bang. Send blitzes, try things, because just going out there, like CT said, and just trying to rush for and just hoping your guys get home, that's not going to work. And with the RPO offense that TCU runs, heavy timing concepts, and it's predicated off the ball being able to get out quick. And that's the best way you can beat a good rush, is getting the ball out quick. And I think if TCU does that, it's going to be really tough on Colorado's defense.
We're talking about quarterbacks and Josh Hoover and what he's been able to do and the effect that he has for this offense. But, kind of looking at the Colorado offensive things, you talked about Salter and how good you think he is and how good he has looked at times. But what is the quarterback situation there? Is it Salter's job definitively, or is it whatever Prime wakes up and decides that's who he wants running the offense is going to be it?
That's pretty much it. It's going to be how he's feeling that week, which is tough. I always say there's two positions you don't mess with mentally. That's quarterback and kicker. If you have to stand behind your quarterback, hey, this is my guy, this is what we're going with. Against Wyoming, Caden Salter had the highest QBR, not quarterback rating, but QBR, which is ESPN stat, that Colorado's had since 2019. That and QBR takes into account sacks, sack avoidance, what throws you're making on certain downs, and most importantly, when we're talking about Wyoming competition, and he had a 93.9. Just a fantastic game there. Played a really good game majority of last game. The problem that Colorado has is play calling. And you'll probably see it again this Saturday. They will run a play and see a guy that they may have felt open, maybe wasn't open, and then run that exact same play the very next play. Where usually offensive coordinators will be like, hey, I saw this guy get open. Let's come back to that later again. No, they're going to do it the very next play and hope that it works. So you can't say for sure. Like, I expect him to start, but I feel like he's going to be on a short leash pretty much the rest of the season. And I know TCU's D coordinator would love for Salter to be benched and would love to
Takes away that Salter brings, he's why the running game goes.
Yeah.
Like, we was breaking down the BYU defense all 22 film. You can see like the linebacker, the edge, he's holding all these players. So he opens up the running game because you got to respect his running ability. I think it becomes a disservice. I mean, you've been Salter after during the Delaware game, he led you on 2 scoring drives. So, technically you cost him 2 games. So he still has to find, he's still working through that rhythm. Like, he's still trying to sync. I think Salter always gives CU a chance. Like, I think he gives you a chance. I think it could get, depending on what you guys' defense, we haven't broken down, haven't watched any film, but depends on what your defense is looking like. I think, it could possibly get a shootout because I think Salter, he can do it. It's just how much, how much leeway he's gonna have. Like, that's what we don't even know.
Yeah, no, because last weekend they went against a mobile quarterback and Sam Levin and really tore him up. Kevin Jennings kind of had a lot of success with SMU the week before, and it's just been kind of a worse and worse for the TCU defense ever since the North Carolina game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do agree that Salter, I think significantly right now, has the edge and experience and all the skill over Juju or Staub at this point. Where are the weapons though on this team? Obviously, a big turnover from guys like Jimmy Horn, obviously Travis Hunter, and like Omarion Miller's a guy I remember from that USC game to put up crazy, crazy numbers, and he seems to have like one game every year where he just goes crazy. He's still there. Williams, Brown transfers. Like, where are we at with the weapons that Colorado has?
Sincere Brown is a special talent, very, very special talent outside of receiver. I'm gonna take a little bit of credit for being a big reason he's at Colorado. He's 6'5", like 195, legit 4.3 speed. He hit 23 miles per hour last week, or not last week, against Wyoming in full pads, which, if people don't know, that is flying.
Yeah.
Super quick, twitchy, high points the ball. From the issue is from the film we watched last week against BYU. I maybe saw him on 2, maybe 3 go routes the entire game. And when you have a guy like that, it's not even about, hey, we just have to get him the ball on go routes. You have to put that threat out there. You have to keep the defense honest. You have to let them know, if you want to play aggressive, if you want to come up and press, you better give help to this corner. So he's a special threat, not being utilized the best right now. Then obviously you have Omarion Miller, who I want to see be more consistent. Like you said, it's one game a year, but there hasn't been a consistency yet put together. Then we have Joseph Williams, transfer from Tulsa, who is he's not a polished route runner, but if the ball's in the air downfield, he's majority of the time going to come down with it. He's a jump ball guy, not really a guy that you're going to get it to 5 yards and then, he create for himself. And then running backs, they've been having some injuries in the running back room. They moved Draylon Miller, who was the starting slot, finally to running back, which is where he's supposed to be. He has running back build. He's running back side, and they did a lot of Wildcat with him last week, and it was really successful. So main receiving threat, Sincere Brown for certain. You do not want to have him one-on-one by himself. And then in the run game, they don't have a bad running back. Whether it's Simeon Price, DeKalen Taylor, I'm not sure if either of them are going to be available this week. Or you have Dallin Hayden, who's kind of getting into the rhythm. He got hurt before the season, and I don't think he's had 2 carries so far. I think Ohio State transfer, and then you have Micah Welch and now Draylon Miller. So that's pretty much where the offense is. There's hasn't been consistency yet, and I can't blame that on the players. It's more so the play calling. But yeah, there's threats everywhere. It's just how do you effectively get the ball to them?
When you're looking at Cynthia Brown, and he's what was his number? 26.4 yards per catch. Like that's absurd
Insane.
That's
number.
with him dropping a
That's
touchdown pass.
that's like Emacs number from last year that TCU's number one was putting up. I believe he finished the season number one at like 21 yards per catch. You could see the talent, and I guess that's probably my biggest concern is you saw what happened when TCU tries to play man defense last week against ASU. I mean, I understand it was Jordan Tyson and he's a different level human being,
Yeah.
but like still a little bit of man concern on the TCU end. But then also I kind of want to talk about I want to get into some offensive line talk. Like you've got Jordan Seaton, who's the number one rated PFF pass blocker in the country. Like just an absurd talent on the end. Like what is he like compared to the rest of the offensive line? Is there a gap in the offensive line at all? Is he just so good that defenses shy away from him and it allows y'all to run the ball more his ways, or anything that he brings to the offense more than just being the best pass blocker in the country?
Great pass blocker, and you definitely have confidence really against anybody that he's going against that even if he is to get beat, it's not going to happen early. And that's one of your biggest, worries as a quarterback. Has some work to do in the run game. I would say the majority of Colorado's line are better run blockers than pass. Wouldn't you agree, CT?
I totally agree.
Seaton. I think Seaton's which left tackle, you're supposed to be a better pass blocker, but he has some areas in the run game, definitely needs to improve. The line's solid. They still have work to do. I think they're better picking up stunts this year than they were in previous years. That was like the main thing that Colorado struggled with. I think right tackle is a downgrade from what it was last year, even though they didn't really have him playing right tackle. Khalil Benson was who Colorado had. They put him at right guard and would switch him back and forth to right tackle. Right now he's playing right tackle for Indiana, starting with their undefeated season and top 10 team.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing on the offensive line. I would say I'll have to watch TCU's D tackles. Sometimes they struggle with D tackles, good D tackles. Carlos Allen from Houston. I don't know if you guys play Houston. Hopefully you don't. He is a like he has a whole highlight tape just from the Colorado game. Just manhandling offensive linemen. Now, decent defensive tackles, they do a pretty good job against them. But if you have a really stout guy that knows how to use his hands, is explosive, that's what really provides them issues. But overall, the offensive line is solid.
And I think I also like that goes to a credit to Caden Salter too. I think his ability, like he's really elusive in the pocket. He can step up, and I think that helps the offensive line a lot, or he could get out and go. And like I said, I think a part of that is also the Caden Salter effect, because when you watch the Houston game with Staub, it was just same offensive line, but completely different game. So I think having Salter back there, his experience, and I think he helps the O-line a lot.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a challenge for like a big response game, because they've been a lot better. Last year was a huge struggle with their tackles against the run. We retained a guy in Marcus Steele who's pretty good, but like you said, they don't have a superstar defensive tackle, I would say at least. So, at least being able to manhandle that way. Where does Where does Colorado's defense back to that just a little bit? And I just want to know like how they do covering the run game. Because we talked about Hoover in the passing game and TCU's RB1 was out last week and it's still questionable for this week, but I would say more trending towards playing. Um, so what should TCU fans look to expect from being able to run the ball consistently?
CT.
Well, we've been giving up over 200 yards a game for this, I mean, and that's why I asked you guys, does he take off or what? Because
Yeah.
it makes a difference. Like quarterbacks that didn't run, they show up to see you like, oh, guess what? We're gonna do some design runs. Um, the linebacker play is the interior defensive line, like we were absolutely struggling with stopping the run. I mean, like I
That's
said,
the biggest weakness on the defense. Well, yeah, the defensive tackles. It's a struggle, and because of the struggle from defensive tackles, then you got guys easily climbing to the second level to get to the linebackers and cut them off. So it's just providing pretty big run lanes. And so, and we talked about this. So CT, he's just a fan of football. And we started the channel, like the whole thing was me teaching him the game, the intricacies, just with the camera on. And we used to always go back and forth, like, is it the linebackers are bad or is it the defensive tackles? Because they are tied so heavily together. Because if you have bad defensive tackle play, it affects how your linebackers play. And if you have bad linebackers, then it makes the defensive tackles look bad. So they obviously have a direct correlation with each other. The linebackers are talented, like athletic linebackers. Martavius French, last year, I believe he has 17 tackles for loss at Utah. It's an insane amount.
Like one and a half
Reggie Hughes, yeah. Oh my gosh, Reggie Hughes was at Jacksonville State, was playing fantastic, but so far neither of them have looked this year what they looked like at their schools last year, and I'm not sure if it's scheme, coaching, etc. But they haven't played up to what I expect from them from what I've seen on film. So running the ball is, I mean, everybody's ran the ball. Delaware's running back went out in like the second quarter, their starter, and they were still running the ball. Like everybody's been able to run the ball.
Wyoming, like it's a real struggle, and it's funny when my brother was saying about us starting the channel. It was the TCU game that I learned about the defensive tackles. If bad defensive tackle play destroys the linebackers, so because I remember was watching that all 22 film. I can't imagine you guys not coming in and trying to establish the run. I really can't. Like I just really can't.
Yeah, they abandoned the run halfway through when they were up double digits against Arizona State. So we'll see. I think it's one of those things where it's both are probably so bad and one's got to be worse, and I guess we'll see what that is. And going back to your question with Hoover, like Hoover does have the ability to keep you honest, and especially more last year. There's been more design runs, and like there was a QB draw design that was a big third down conversion in the SMU game. So he definitely has the ability to run. And maybe it's just the defensive scheme hasn't allowed him to really take over that yet, but he's definitely not going to be looking to on a consistent basis. Like he's going to want to be a pass first guy and really only have to use it when he needs it.
Oh my God. I just looked up Georgia Tech ran for 320.
Wow.
That is insane. Yeah.
That is like their whole offense.
How many yards were after contact for Haynes King? Because Jesus Christ.
It was a rough one. And then Houston ran for 200. Yeah, everybody's just been.
I think Houston struggled to run the ball against Oregon State last weekend. And
but had a field day. And we were talking about it because I told CT when I was breaking down Houston's quarterback, I said he doesn't run the ball, but the few times I saw him scramble, he has all the athleticism to do it. Like he can do it. I said, don't let him get confident because if he does, it's going to be bad. And the Houston coach actually messaged me while we're doing our post-game live after, because I posted a video of their quarterback. He said, that's exactly how we felt. He said, that's exactly what we saw in that game.
That's why I asked you guys to run. Because I don't want to get in this game and all of a sudden he comes out with 3 straight design runs. I'll be back on the podcast.
I will tell you. He's been using them more often, but where you find him running at now is when a play breaks down. Before he would try to force the ball, and I think that's part of his growth into this year. Is last year you would see him try to force a throw versus this year he's like, you know what? I've got every receiver on a vertical practically. I'm just going to take off for 8 yards and pick it up myself. And I think he's not going to blow you away with speed. He's not even going to. He might try a spin move if he's up a lot because he's been wanting to really badly. But other than that, he's just like. He's just going to wear you down with your arm, and then when you're selling out in the secondary to stop the pass, he's going to find that little open seam and take off.
Yeah, and like last year too, there were some read options, but probably the majority of his fumbles were fumbles on the read option because he wasn't just mature enough as a quarterback yet to be able to make that read and make it apparent. So it'll be interesting for sure if that's one of the things. Because especially with Eric McAllister out, like that's gonna be less of a strength in the run game or in the pass game where again you're counting on Dwyer to really carry a lot of the load. And I don't know if Hoover has that complete trust because yeah, Dwyer's been amazing and shows flashes, but last week he had I believe 4 drops credited to him.
And one was when he killed the corner
yes,
on the go route, just
yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
And Hoover dropped
he has
it
all
right
the
in the bread
intangibles.
basket too.
Yeah. He has everything. So if he cleans up the drops, yeah, he'll be amazing. And he showed that against North Carolina. But it'll be very interesting to see how they scheme him differently. Again, Eric McAllister isn't completely out yet, and we'll see once the injury reports come out. But I would be shocked if he played.
So if he is turned out to be out, then who's the wide receiver you guys expect to take his place besides Dwyer?
Dozie Ezukam.
Yeah, Dozie Ezukam.
You'll see a lot more freshmen get involved. That's pretty much what it is. It'll be Dozie on the outside. Ed Small might slide over to the middle, and they throw Manjack on the outside like they've shown to do in his absence last week. Terry Smalls is not I don't want to say an EMAC prototype, but he runs the routes the same way. He's not going to out physical you, but I mean, he's probably going to out jump you, and his route running is crisp. I mean, he is a freshman that has a lot to work on, but they kind of remind you in the same way. You'll just see a lot more freshmen get involved, and I wouldn't be surprised if after what we've talked about with the defensive line matchup versus TCU's offensive line, if they feel confident in what they're going to roll out for the offensive line this week, that they might try some double tight end sets.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We haven't seen too much of it this year, especially with the struggles against ASU, and I think we saw a good bit of it against SMU, and that was the first time we really saw the playbook get opened up. So I think that is a real possibility that could happen against Colorado defense.
Is Barnes back, the running back?
He was practicing today. Yeah, he practiced full today. I'm going to assume if at worst, he's probably on a pitch count. At worst.
Okay. He's a little speedy guy, man. It
is a muscle issue. So like he could wake up Saturday morning and he gives it a go during pregame with the adrenaline going and decides, hey, you know what? I still can't go. So I will say it is one of those that
it's questionable still.
I mean, we're speaking of Barnes and injury. I looking at the injury or the availability report for Colorado. Are you guys the most injured team in the Big 12?
I think they just might report it differently than other teams because there's usually a lot. I didn't even look at the one for this week yet, but there's going to be a lot questionable, a lot probable, a lot doubtful, and a lot out. But yeah, every week we've seen that other teams will have like 3-4 players, and Colorado has 24.
Yeah,
and people are like, "Well, what's going on up there?" I just think they may report it. Maybe a little more honest than others.
You guys are the only ones that I've seen that really use the probable and questionable. TCU did not have a single one of those. It was either you were out or you were playing. Good luck to you.
So I think it's more of that.
I mean, it's I know Colorado still is expecting a few more defensive players back, like a few linebackers that are supposed to come back soon. Is there any shot that they play this week against TCU, or is it maybe another week for them?
I think Jeremiah Brown is one that is expected to be back this week. And then the other two that mainly play is Reggie Hughes and Martavius French. And another one that's getting some play is Sean Myers. I think Sean played last game. I think Jeremiah Brown was out. So we'll have to see if he's back this game. but yeah, not too many. They've really rotated just those four for the most part so far.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys, like, what player would you say that could come in and probably shock us from the TCU side? Like somebody we're not even expecting. That's just like, hey, watch for this player.
You're talking
Yeah.
offense or defense? Or
Defense.
I was gonna say you could give me both when I thought about it.
Defense.
You want to go first, JD?
Go ahead, Nick. I'll see which side of the ball you go, and then I'll pick the other.
I'll go offense first. I'll give one for both, but I'll go offense first, and I'm gonna go with Dozie, Dozie Ezukamna, as we touched on before, because he's a guy who like he has no college tape out there. He has not played. He played a little bit against Arizona State, and he's played like the smallest bit. But this is gonna be his first game where he's gonna get a real chance to show what he's made of. He's a redshirt freshman, and he's had a lot of great reports from fall camp, and the coaches speak highly on him, where he's earned this opportunity. So yeah, he's similar build to Eric McAllister, longer. He's gonna play the outside. And it'll be interesting to see what he does. I think Hoover has a lot of trust in him. I think he runs a lot of the same routes that McAllister will, and I think he could have numbers that if you're watching this and is a casual fan, like you wouldn't know the name and he would shock you.
Got you. Okay.
I'll go with the defense, and it's not that he's a name that would shock if you're a TCU fan, but Zach Chapman, he was a freshman All-American last year, and he was a little bit injured. He didn't play against SMU. He's kind of been banged up a little bit, but he's a freshman All-American last year. He's just getting started. He's got great bendability on the edge. Paul Oyewale's his counterpart, along with Devin Deal some, but he's been off to a slow start, but he has all the talent to maybe have his breakout game here. Like he's not going to wow you with his numbers from last year, but if you look at his quarterback hurries and his pressure percentage, I believe it was close to like 34%, which is best on TC's defense by a large margin last year.
Yeah, and we talk about numbers don't really mean anything on the defensive line. You can be a dominant defensive lineman and the numbers don't show up.
Have no sacks.
Yeah. But they're just doing things, chipping guys and stuff. So we'll definitely watch the film on that. Because a lot of guys they'll be like, oh well, he only had 2 sacks. Well, and they'll say that about a defensive tackle. That's not his job. Like there's a lot of other things that you need to do. Is you can make the play without making the play, especially on the defensive line, just by being in your gap, eating up extra blocks so a linebacker can get free and so forth. So yeah, I'll be interested in watching that. Colorado, even though they're better at stunts, stunts is not their friend. I don't think it ever will be against the offensive line. I'm really interested to watch the defense, which we'll do tomorrow. I've watched some of the offense, but like I said, I haven't got in depth how I want to as far as like before each game. I break down what schemes the other teams run, what route concepts, what they like to do on first down, second and short, third down, everything. So I'll shoot it over to you guys before the game. We do a full scouting report on what gets done on both sides of the ball, and then how to attack it, which doesn't really happen. And for those that don't know, we started this channel last year, and from this channel, Deion Sanders in Colorado actually reached out to me and offered me a job on the coaching staff.
Oh yeah! Congrats, that's sick.
Yeah, I have a good life doing what I do. I'm in real estate. So I told them I'm not moving to Boulder, but told them I would have been open to something remote. So the stuff we do gets really in depth. It gets really in depth as far as the scouting reports. It makes it watching more fun because now you can really see, okay, oh, this is them doing what was on that. Okay, this is what they shouldn't be doing. And unfortunately, Colorado, one of my biggest gripes with them, I don't see them play a team and scheme specifically for that team. Like if a team is mainly in cover 2, I don't see them come out and run route concepts to beat cover 2. Like I don't, and that's what football's about. It's not about, hey, this is our offense, we're just going to run it no matter what. No, you have to, it's a chess match. I say checkers. I say people try to make football more complicated than it needs to be. Really, whatever they do well, you want to stop them from doing that, and you want to take advantage of, their weaknesses. So that's the biggest issue we've seen is truly not game planning specifically for the teams. And I've seen enough of TCU's offense. I watched them a lot last year, watching Beck, watching who was it? Savion something.
Savion, yeah, Savion Williams.
Yeah, watching those guys and seeing the offense, like you guys attack the middle of the field, post routes,
Yeah,
the RPO slants, RPO glances, like there's a lot that happens there. I remember watching TCU when we were breaking down the UCF last year.
Oh
And
yeah,
there was just guys running wide open. So
yeah.
we'll see if Colorado actually strategizes and game plans to stop what TCU does well. From history, it probably not going to happen. We aren't the most confident at all in this game. Like
That's why I kept asking you guys, who we're gonna run? Because seems like every quarterback.
I
even
want
with
you to
who we're
know,
not running,
if
it's
I
gonna be
will publicly
rough.
apologize if he has more than 4 QB designed runs against
Yeah.
Colorado.
All right,
Okay, I'm gonna set my counter then.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
it
I would
definitely
go
What?
under 2.5.
Yeah.
Really? I'm gonna set my counter for
I
you.
set 4 as a bar to protect myself. But like,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
and a half is a good.
He's
Is a
probably
good
got like
number.
4 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
No,
you might have 4 in the first
We'll
series,
see.
and then I'm
that's what
not
I'm
be like,
saying,
hey.
right? How do you guys feel like TCU gonna bounce back after that Arizona State loss? What are you expecting to see from this team?
That's the
I'm
question, man. That's the question.
Yeah, I'm very interested. There's still so many question marks. The offensive line, we don't know who's gonna start for him, which is kind of
scary.
a nightmare thing when
Yeah,
you're in week 5 of the season or week 6 or whatever we're in now. So yeah, that scares me. And then yeah, the fact that Salter shows potential of being this amazing quarterback scares me as well because they're struggling against mobile quarterbacks. Like I think you're gonna have a fun time breaking down this TCU defense because there's a lot of stunts, there's a lot of disguises, there's a lot of hidden coverages,
love it.
defensive ends dropping back in coverage, and a lot of switch from man to zone from drive to drive. So, which it is amazing when it works, and they confused Gio Lopez at North Carolina a lot, and they've had success doing it, but that can cause confusion. And when you break too much on, especially mobile quarterback, or there can just be lapses, that scares me. So a lot of question marks. I think TCU is a more talented and more proven team. Like I think just they retained a lot from last year, which gives me confidence that they'll win the game and it shouldn't be too close. Like I think the spread is like around 13 or
13 and a
something right
half.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is
So
number
like
0 on defense?
Zach Chapman, that's the guy JD was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I got the film pulled up right now. I'm watching versus North Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like what I'm seeing. Yeah,
It's a problem, huh?
yeah. That is.
Yeah.
I just watched him walk back North Carolina's guard into the quarterback. Um,
He's a
they
good
they
boy.
they blew the play dead. No, he. I'm a movement guy. I can see pretty early on if somebody can play or not just by their movement, their hand usage. Yeah. What he has to be over 6'3", what, like 6'5"?
He's probably a little shorter than 6'5", I would say.
Yeah.
I would say around 6'3" is a good
Okay.
estimate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he looks like he has really long arms.
Yeah.
So right now I'm watching the negative plays. So when
That and
TCU is getting tackles for losses and
that's
uh,
the interesting matchup, right? Because he could be on Jordan Seaton, and
mhm.
or they shy away from him and throw him on the other side and bring in an opposite side blitz with him. Like, who knows what they're gonna cook up on this one? And if Avalos just says, you know what, if they want to throw the ball, we'll one-on-one with Seaton, and then we'll just bring blitz off the other side.
What I'm seeing right now is literally what I want Colorado to do. They're blitzing from depth. This is smart pass defense with what they're doing. They're playing guys deep when they're bringing the blitz because they're knowing, hey, you have to get the ball out quick. Any vertical routes, you're not going to have enough time for. Seeing them blitzing guys from different positions, seeing them
Yeah.
bluff
A
with
lot of that.
blitzers, dropping them back in coverage after giving Kevin Jennings hell right now. Yeah, this is now what I have seen on a few too, but that's a part of the game when you blitz like that. There are some some holes in the
Yeah, for
coverage.
sure.
But if you can get the blitz there and the quarterback can't make
Yeah.
that read quick,
It
it
don't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
what you're scared of is what gives us hope is that Caden Salter, when at his best in rhythm, he can take over a game through the air or with his legs. I don't know if you guys seen Georgia Tech. He threw a 70-yard pass on the money without stepping into it. Like rolled
Yeah,
out,
I remember
stood there,
that.
no step in, 70 yard. People that don't really watch football don't understand how far 70 yards is for a
Yeah.
quarterback to throw, especially not
Yeah.
stepping into it. So the talent is there. It's just about him being confident in them scheming correctly. But yeah, I'm from watching. I can't wait to watch more of this defense. Like
Yeah.
I
It's
love
a
how
fun,
he's going
unique
to get
one.
after it.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I mean, really, how have you guys been against the run so far?
A lot better than last year. Last year that was the reason that they lost a ton of games. Um, so yeah, better. Still, the quarterback design stuff and just being able to scramble out of it and staying disciplined, especially on read options and stuff like that, has been a struggle. And it's not, shut down, but the improvement is very noticeable to where
It's
they're
it's
Well,
one of those double-edged swords too for TCU is early in the season they were running teams out with their offense that they were abandoning the run, and then against
mhm.
SMU, you know, they were cooking TCU secondary a little bit, so they didn't have to run the ball as much. And then when you see a run first team like Arizona State play against them, you kind of see the success that they have. Shout out Peyton Toley being on the mound for the Red Sox right now. I mean, it's just got out of the bases loaded jam, bottom of the eighth.
Yeah,
A TCU alum right there.
I'm watching this man, and uh, the linebackers can fly. Which
Caleb Alarmzor is a dog.
yeah.
what
Caleb
what number team?
Alarmzor, number three.
Who's 19? Because I'm seeing him. Is this a safety in the box?
Yeah, that's Kylan
Kylan
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a transfer. He's played really good football, and they have
I
blitzed
see.
him a lot off the edge.
TCU's highest rated run defense.
Yeah,
I see.
Top
I
of my
just watched him
So
PFF.
run
he's
down
you
the
guys'
stretch against
yeah.
version of
North Carolina.
he's you guys'
They'll
version of
blitz.
Taufik Bayard for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they'll blitz him and Austin Jordan, number one, from the nickel
Mm.
position a lot. They'll load him at the line, and sometimes they'll drop back, but eventually, yeah, they'll load it up with good time blitzes when it works.
Who is it? Oh, this is him again against SMU. Run down for a tackle for loss.
Yeah,
Yeah, gotta watch him. And if you know, I'm hoping they're coaching them right. You want to throw to the blitz. So when you see him come down in the box, that's where your rotation needs to be. You want to be able to throw behind them. That's when you have the slant routes. Colorado's offense isn't sophisticated enough to just have those as automatic checks. Like, hey, receiver, whoever's the near receiver, if we see him in the box and think he's going to blitz, change your route to slant route because we want to throw right where the blitz came from because they have to rotate down to cover it. But I think it's going to be a good matchup. From what I'm looking at, O line play is going to come down to a lot of it for Colorado because there are guys open on the blitz. Like Kevin Jennings, I just watched him miss like 2 reads just because he's so flustered from the blitz coming. So if you can give enough time, and that may entail blocking the tight end, having your running back chip before he goes out, etc. I think that's going to be really successful. The problem is I'm not seeing a lot of press coverage, and that means that you're not going to easily be able to get over the top on the defense when they're playing off. So your offense is going to have to be built on timing routes, getting the ball out on time, and making the right read quickly. So we'll see if Colorado puts their guys in the right position to do that. My God, who are these guys? There's guys.
yeah, there's some talent. This defense is interesting. Like, but Bud Clark's probably the big name. I don't know if y'all have heard him. He's our safety 21. He kind of makes a lot of the splash plays. Devin Deal is probably regarded as our number 11, our best edge, I would say, from a
Okay.
general standpoint. It was last year. So those are also some notable guys. Jamel Johnson led the team in
Oh,
in
I don't want
tackles.
to. I don't want to scoot by Bud Clark a little too quick, like we just did. He was basically PFF and NFL scouts' top three viewed safety in college football last year and decided to come back to TCU. He hasn't played as efficient this year as he did last year, but I mean, he is without a doubt one of the top safeties in all of college football.
I love safety play, so I will be watching him very closely.
Yeah. You'll like TCU safeties.
Right now, who I'm watching is the one who's popping out to me. I've watched probably 25 plays. 97. Who is 97?
Halonia Wale.
Wale. Dude's got massive legs. Massive.
He has great hands.
Yeah.
At the point of attack. Anytime an offensive lineman's getting head heavy on him, he's getting rid of them quick and then get him. He looks athletic too. Like not just big, like he looks athletic.
He sat out all last year with an injury too, so he's very fresh.
Oh man.
Yeah, he had an Achilles last year that held him out the whole year. But the funny thing about him, he didn't even start playing football till like late in high school. So that's why he was recruited a little bit down, and he made an impact right away because he's such an athlete and he was able to pick up technique fast.
I see it. I'm seeing 10 run down the screen. Yeah, I've seen enough of the defense for tonight, for sure. They got guys that fly. I love good defense. Houston, that's one of the favorite defenses we watch. I think that might be the best defense Colorado's faced.
Wow.
In the past 2 seasons, like just fly around, can cover all 11 guys trying to get to the ball. They hit, and I mean hit. And this defense is looking a little reminiscent of that. BYU's defense, they had some really good guys.
Linebackers.
Yeah, linebackers were.
Gasker and Jack Kelly.
Yeah, but secondary is not nothing to really write home about other than one corner, Evan Johnson, number 0. So yeah, I think it's going to be a solid matchup. It all weighs on Caden Salter for me. If Caden Salter, I don't think Colorado can win if he doesn't play great. I don't think there's a chance. So I think everything's going to ride on him. And if I'm TCU, I'm doing everything in my power to get pressure on him, try to confuse him as much as possible, try to hit him as much as possible. I don't care if you don't hand it off on a read option. Like that would be my game plan, is try to make him uncomfortable. Because you guys won't want to see him comfortable. So try to make him as
that's what scares me. It's his potential. He's already shown it, or shown a lot of it. So it's scary. As we kind of get to the end of this, what is like your complete perspective on the game? Like how much of a chance? I know you said Salter was the X factor, but where do you see this game ending up?
I don't think Colorado's defense is going to have an answer. Like I think whatever TCU's offense wants to do, they're going to be able to do it. There hasn't been an offense that hasn't been able to. Delaware had 400 yards with their backup quarterback with their starting running back going down. That's the biggest issue, and that's why I say it relies on Salter. It may be who gets the ball last, kind of like the last time Colorado played TCU.
Yeah.
Except I think TCU's offense heavily outweighs Colorado's defense, and I don't think Colorado's offense outweighs TCU's defense the same way. So that's the problem. I'd expect, just unbiased talking ball, I'd expect TCU to win by 2 scores.
You got a final score? I'm gonna write it down. I'm sure Nick will make a little graphic for it to go on social media afterwards.
I'm not really an exact score guy, but to do that, I say 35-21.
Cool.
I'll say 35-21.
Yeah, I feel like, you're going on the road. What do you guys expect the atmosphere to be like at TCU? I mean, CU's coming
the same way it was last time.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't think it'll be that hype, but
it's a blackout game. Tickets are really hard to come by right now. Like,
I'm thinking
I expect it to be a good crowd. I just think it's one of those that it's like TCU crowds are so hard to gauge. Like,
other thing
and
for
coming
Salter,
up a loss.
Salter's from there. Played at Cedar Hill, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a homecoming for him. So
Yeah.
it's homecoming for him.
Yeah.
I expect this game to go. CU comes out, offense. It's how CU offense matches up against TCU's defense right off the bat. To me, that's going to tell me how the game goes. Like if
Yeah, because we already
offense,
know how the defense is
right.
gonna
So if
go.
offense
Yeah.
can move and they can put up points and Salter can get loose, then I think we're going to have a game on our hands. But now on the flip side, if Hoover comes out, man, he has over 30 rushing yards back. I think it gets ugly, and I think it'll get ugly real fast. I mean, I think really, like I said, depends on the offense, depends on Salter, depends on how the running game gets off. How early we get the wide receivers involved depends on the play calling for CU. If they look like we designed the play game scheme to run against TCU, then I think CU has a shot. I think they have a shot to pull off the upset on the road. It's a long shot, but I think they can do it. Uh, and on the flip verse, hey, TCU could just, if they come out and do what they do, it could get ugly real fast.
You got a final score prediction?
I'm not a final score guy, but I think if it's close and if Salter's cooking, then we in for a shootout. I think, but
I think so too.
yeah, but if it's not, and you guys just come out and Hoover's running the ball, I think yeah, CU can lose in double digits because I think your offense, from the film I've cut up and seen so far, I just think you guys present a problem. Like it's a
Hoover does not need to run the ball. I'm watching these running back. Their running backs gonna run that thing. Hoover don't
We'll
need to
see.
touch the ball. They
I
are.
hope he doesn't, so I don't have to send out the apology tweet.
Oh no, he's been watching. I watched. I'm like, he's about to hit that over in the first quarter.
Uh-huh.
How about you
Yeah.
guys? How you guys feel about this game?
I'm nervous for it. I don't know. It seemed like because TCU's in a stretch where they go, they went at ASU, they had a rivalry game SMU, and then CU here, and then at K-State, Baylor. Um, and those, it seems like a lot of people said during the stretch that CU would kind of be like the letdown spot that kind of sneaks up on you, which
Trap game.
is probably false, especially compared to the fact that they lost last week and showed a lot of question marks. So I'm more nervous, way more nervous than I was for this game um at this time last week. And no, Eric McAllister scares me. The O-line scares me. I do think that the scheme and the comfortability of the offense and with getting Kavorian Barnes back will be massive, especially after talking to y'all and hearing about y'all's run defense and all that. So I do think TCU wins. I'll go like 35-27 or something like that. I do think it'll be close. I think it'll be one of those games where, yeah, it's a shootout with all those points, and there's a lot of things that TCU can work on. But I just think they're at a point right now that's better enough for them that they should be able to win the ball game if they want to go where they want to go.
Well, unfortunately, I'm watching more run plays now. Colorado struggles the most against gap schemes, so pullers, power,
Yeah,
counter.
a lot of that.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
pulling. I just watched the GG power. We're pulling both guards. I watched the CG power. I'm seeing pulls in all types of different ways.
Wait till you see the tight end pulls too.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I
Double
can
tight
feel
end
you.
schemes with tight end pulls too. They're thrown
golly.
in there, and they are
And
brutal on the defense.
Colorado struggles with that the most. They're better at zone schemes, fast flow, outside zone, stretch, inside zone, where there's no pullers. The defensive lineman can win going backside against the flow and get vertical quickly, but the gap schemes is where they really struggle. Now, if they did incorporate some read option off of those same power schemes, that would just be just the dagger because Colorado struggles to identify specific quarterback players and running back players when it comes to the read option. So now you're playing even slower, but these pullers are getting out there, and if you're a half step behind, it's going to get bad. I'm watching it. Huge runs. The first one I just watched was I think Barnes against North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I
Yeah,
see
that was
how
a
this is
beautiful
gonna go.
goal.
Yeah, I see how this is gonna go. But
Yeah. I think this is an interesting game, right? It's kind of like should be a get right game for TCU, and then kind of also like a get right game, but to an extreme for Colorado as well. It's like you got to show a little bit of something. You've shown hints every week of getting better and better and better,
Mhm.
and then it's like, but you got to put together a full game, and that goes for both teams. And I think the question to this one is just going to be how does TCU respond from the loss, and is Colorado able to make the adjustments that you guys talked about with scheme differences, and is their defense able to take a step stopping the run? Or is it they just sell out to stop the run and say, hey, you know what? Josh Hoover doesn't have EMAC. Make him beat us with Dwyer, who had the drops last week against ASU. Make him beat us with the freshman
Mhm.
on the outside. Like, there is a legitimate possibility that the EMAC offensive struggles continue. And it's not an indictment. Like you talked about, Dwyer is such a good receiver. But that problem
Mhm.
is that you're looking at Jordan Dwyer doesn't have the go up and get it ability that EMAC does.
Yeah. Mhm.
Manjack doesn't have that either. He's going to out physical you, but he's not going to go up and get it. He's
Not
not
the
going to
jump
blow
ball guy.
past you. You got tight ends who are used sparingly, but when they are used, they're nice safety blankets over the middle. You got Kavorian Barnes returning from a injury that who knows what percent he's going to be at, and you got an offensive line that is still trying to regroup from their really bad performance against Arizona State. So, what does that look like? I don't know. How much energy do they come out with? I don't know. What I do know is that what the numbers tell me is that TCU's offense, and more specifically Josh Hoover, should have no problem throwing the ball as long as they continue to do what they have been, which is just identifying what the defense is and taking what is given to them rather than taking deep
Yep.
shots. So it's actually why like a lot of my worries for this one is that it's a low scoring close game. And the problem with that is Salter has shown, and especially, with what he's done so far this year with Sincere Brown and their connection, like they
Yeah.
can they can have an explosive play when they need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think this could be a version of the SMU game where it's a real close game and they trade touchdowns right there at the end to make it look like it became explosive, but it wasn't the whole time.
Mhm.
So, but with that said, I just think that TCU is, I don't want to say better coached or more talented, but they're just
They're better coached. I'll say that for you. Just from
they're
watching, like, and because I'm always going to keep it a buck. Like, you can't be a better coach team and you never make adjustments specifically for the teams you're facing. Like, it's not
I,
possible.
I just think a lot of the thing is with TCU is like sometimes they come out flat and it starts with the head coach, big problem that
Hmm.
they've had. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I've got TCU winning this. I've got it 31-24 is my score with TCU winning. Um, Anything else you guys want to touch on in this one and in this episode specifically as we preview TCU in Colorado, which will play at 6:30 on Saturday night?
Nothing from me, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's the road game. I think the environment is going to be, I think TCU is looking for a get back, and you coming off that let down on ASU. I think they're going to be locked in. I think CU. I think this is a big game for Salter. I think it is.
There's
Um,
also there's also the legitimate chance you talked about the get back for TCU with ASU and the Dion beating him in 23 and kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
embarrassing Sonny.
that's what I was
That
thinking is the
there's a problem that
2023.
there's a chance
Yeah.
that Sonny just says, hey, you know what? We're running it up if they get to that
oh
point.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, hey, it's potential. Hey, we gonna, I mean, it's the thing about CU. I feel like no team takes them lightly. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like,
since
hey,
it's
these
prime.
prime time shows coming
Yeah.
in. You be
Mhm.
like, man, this is not what our team Houston that played us and then went up to Oregon State didn't even look like the same Houston. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that comes with it. And I'm like, man, on the road, the environment. TCU's got a bad taste in their mouth from the last time they played. I can't even. I feel like the ASU might have been the trap game because they've been looking forward to the CU game. I don't, I mean, you just have those certain opponents, and I just hope it's a great game, man. Like I said, I think Salter does give us the best chance to win. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah, I will say I think that 2023 loss stings. At least I'm on record saying like I worked with the team at that point. I went coaches film as well. And that loss stung probably worse than any loss I've experienced as a TCU fan, just because of the shock and the
Yeah.
fact that they had expectations coming into the year that hadn't been seen for a while.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that the sting's definitely there, and they're going to be wanting to get back.
Got you. Well, hey, we appreciate you guys having us on, and man, this was fantastic. Appreciate you, CT, for linking this up. And I'll send you guys that scouting report before the game.
Yes, please do.
And we'll message after about how we felt.
Yeah,
like
go ahead and just pre-record your apology. Watch
Josh Hoover runs runs 10 times.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate you guys coming on. BuffedinPrime. Go follow them on all their socials, YouTube. Everything's the same name, right?
Yep.
Everything's the same.
Go follow them on all the socials. BuffedinPrime. Find them. We'll talk the game breakdown. We'll be sharing it on our socials, and we'll look forward to talking with you guys afterwards. And thank you guys for coming on. Episode 14 of Horned Up Game Week. See you guys next time.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Do your words match your video? Yeah, this for my boy TKL, CT the fan. Yeah, we on that buff train, man. Yeah, the boys, they put it down. I watch them every day. Hey, they gon' put you on a belt, but they gon' put you down there where you belong. They ain't gon' care for you. Nah, they ain't gon' care for you. Yeah, they gon' love on you. They gon' tell you what to do to get yourself better. It's on you, baby. Yeah, them my boys. BuffedinPrime. Y'all keep doing y'all thing, baby. Well, hello. Yeah. We BuffedinPrime, hello. Can't nobody stop us 'cause we